Hello fellow coffee botherers, I'm Kev from coffeeblog.co.uk, and in this video I'm going to be making a suggestion for any coffee drinker who puts sugar in their coffee. I'm not talking about stopping adding sugar to coffee for health reasons, although not adding extra sugar into your diet might be a good thing. Who knows, I'm no doctor. I'm not talking about stopping adding sugar to coffee because it tastes better without it either, because that's not necessarily true, as I'll talk about shortly. Some coffee doesn't taste great on its own. What I am talking about in this video is the different types of coffee. Simply put, you're probably putting sugar in your coffee because the kind of coffee you're drinking doesn't taste good without it. You see, there are different kinds of coffee. If you thought there was just coffee beans and that's that, you'd be wrong. Firstly, coffee beans aren't even beans, but you probably knew that. You probably also knew that cashews come from a fruit and that strawberries aren't berries, but that watermelons are. How odd. But aside from that, there are different kinds of coffee beans or seeds. I'm not talking about Robusta versus Arabica or all the different varietals of Arabica. I'm talking about quality. For simplicity, I'm going to say that there are essentially two types of coffee. Commodity coffee and specialty coffee. For anyone watching this who knows a lot more about this, I know this isn't technically precise, it's a simplified description, but it's detailed enough for the purposes of this video. Commodity coffee is the main original coffee market where beans are bought in huge quantities and where, to a large degree, a coffee bean is just a coffee bean, just as a grain of salt is just a grain of salt. This coffee is traded as a commodity. It's mainly priced by the stock market, and it's a much of a muchness, especially after roasting, because most of this kind of coffee is roasted dark in order to hide taste defects and ensure batch consistency. This kind of coffee just generally tastes like coffee. Billions of tons of this stuff we've consumed over the past few decades, much of it as instant, and much of it being very similar coffee roasted in a very similar way, has led most people to believe that coffee is a fairly bitter tasting drink, which gives them a kick and which they really enjoy for some reason, but that it doesn't really taste that good without adding milk and sugar. Even if you buy whole bean and grind it yourself, or if you buy bags of pre-ground coffee, if you're buying from large retailers, mainly supermarkets, you're probably drinking this same commodity coffee, the same kind of stuff which is used to make instant. Even if it is in a really fancy bag, even if it claims to be things like single origin or fair trade and so on, most of this coffee is the same lower quality coffee and fancy packaging with clever marketing. The simple fact is this kind of coffee has to be grown as cost effectively as possible because quality isn't linked to price. You could grow among the best tasting commodity coffee, you'll still get the same price for it if you're selling it within that market. So coffee beans within this market are unlikely to be particularly high quality, or they wouldn't be sold on this market. So now to talk about the other type of coffee, the higher quality coffee referred to as specialty coffee. The specialty coffee market is completely different from commodity coffee for so many reasons, but the main reason it's so much better quality is the fact that it's priced on quality. With commodity coffee, every single decision from start to finish is about price. With specialty coffee, every single decision from start to finish is about quality. Where it's grown, which is usually at higher altitude, the kind of coffee plant or varietal planted, the picking process, which is by hand with specialty versus machine picking with commodity, the way it's processed, the way it's stored, and lots more. And all of this is done in the hope of being scored highly enough to be officially traded as specialty coffee, which means scoring over 80 out of 100 by the SCA Q graders, SCA being the Specialty Coffee Association. If it scores over 80, it's officially specialty coffee, and with a score of 84 or above, the coffee can end up being priced at 20 to 30 times or even higher than commodity coffee beans. So a lot of investment and effort goes into trying to grow and process the best quality coffee beans, but if they achieve it, it's worth all the effort. The main difference, though, I think, when it comes to specialty coffee versus commodity coffee is variety. Commodity coffee is mainly roasted dark to burn away the taste defects that may be present and to keep each batch tasting similar. While this does away with any taste defect, that is unpleasant tastes, it also does away with most of the subtle flavour of the coffee. Specialty coffee beans are generally roasted much lighter. There are light, medium and dark roast in specialty coffee, but if you look at a medium or medium to dark roasted specialty coffee bean, it'll be nowhere near as dark as a medium or medium to dark roasted commodity coffee bean. Specialty coffee beans are roasted by specialty coffee roasters, and these are people who are passionate about bringing the very best out of each coffee they're working with. They roast in much smaller batches and with a huge amount of care and attention to make sure they do the beans justice. It's not just a commercial process for them. And as there's so much more traceability with specialty coffee, you generally know where it's come from, not just origin, but often which farm or cooperative, which coffee plant has been used, the processing method, and so on. All of these produce different tastes. One coffee you might notice smells like strawberries and has citrus fruit notes, while another coffee might have flavours that remind you of orange zest or pecan nuts. Some coffees are naturally sweeter, some are naturally more acidic. Over time, drinking specialty coffee, you can begin to figure out which coffees you like and which you don't like so much. But the point is, with specialty coffee, you're drinking it for the flavour of the coffee, and each bag you open will taste different. So going back to putting sugar in your coffee, here's my suggestion. If you're putting sugar in coffee, you're probably doing it to mask the flavour of the coffee, which probably means you're drinking commodity coffee. So what I'd suggest is test what I'm saying here. Buy a bag of coffees from a specialty coffee roaster or website and put my theory to the test. Leave the sugar out and see what you think. What you'll probably discover is that coffee has flavours you had no idea it could have, and that each bag you try has different flavours to offer. What will probably happen as a result is that you'll want to taste the many different flavours in each coffee, and as a result, you'll no longer want to add sugar. If you're in the UK, I'd highly recommend you try my coffee from the Coffee Works at cworks.co.uk, and if you do that, here's a discount for you for new customers. Enter the code YT25, that's YT for YouTube, for 25% off your first order. Or for hundreds of other great UK coffee roasters, go to coffeeblog.co.uk/coffee roasters. If you don't have a way to freshly brew coffee, you don't need to spend a fortune. Just get a cafetiere, an AeroPress, or a pour-over dripper such as V60 or a Kalita Wave. And for more on coffee brewers and everything else specialty coffee, go to coffeeblog.co.uk. So there you go. Hopefully from this point on you'll start getting way more than just a caffeine hit from your daily coffees without going anywhere near the sugar bowl. So thank you very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Thanks, it does something with algorithm or something and helps more people to see the video. If you're looking for another video to watch, why not click here to watch another one of mine? And don't forget, to become an official Coffee Botherer, you need to click this image around here somewhere to subscribe to our channel, and to become a fully accredited Coffee Botherer, also known as Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/coffeeblogkev. Tatty bye!